Jungkook suddenly speaks seriously? Jimin's explanation stuns fans. A serious statement from Jungkook in the midst of his military service has surprised many. Not because the topic he raised was too sensitive or controversial, but because of the emotional intensity and sincerity rarely seen from the golden magne of BTS. In an atmosphere usually filled with discipline and strict military routines, Jungkook suddenly issued a firm statement that immediately stunned his fans. ARMY. What actually happened? And why did Jimin, his groupmate, give an explanation that further fueled the situation? This issue originated from a series of speculations that developed among ARMY after several unofficial photos and reports showed Jungkook always being in close proximity to someone in uniform. Some suspected that he was receiving special treatment during his military service. There were even rumors that his presence was disrupting the barracks order due to his popularity as a global superstar. However, the tension began to ease, and instead turned into a wave of respect, after Jungkook responded directly through his colleagues. In a tone rarely heard from him, Jungkook said, "I am nobody here. I am just a soldier carrying out my duty." This sentence, although short, contained a deep emotional burden, implying a determination not to rely on his status as a K-pop idol in the harsh and egalitarian military world. Immediately after the statement spread in the ARMY community, Jimin, who is also serving in the military and stationed in the same unit, provided additional clarification that immediately triggered a storm of responses on social media. In his statement, Jimin said, "Jungkook is not getting special treatment. If you knew how hard he works here, you would stop questioning his dedication." Jimin's statement immediately exploded on various platforms. ARMY flooded social media with emotional comments. Many admitted to being touched, remembering how Jungkook has always been known as a perfectionist who always wants to give his best, both on stage and off camera. Now, behind the walls of the military barracks, that trait still shines through. According to several soldiers in the same unit as Jungkook, the idol never showed any special attitude. He arrives on time, follows all training schedules without complaint, and has even been the fastest to complete physical training several times. A military colleague said, "He is not only physically strong, but also mentally. He refuses special treatment and always puts himself on the same level as all of us." What makes Jimin's statement even more touching is the behind-the-scenes story he revealed. On one cold night, when Jungkook was seen sitting alone outside the barracks, staring silently at the sky, Jimin knew something was being held back. Without saying much, he sat next to him, providing warmth not through words, but through presence. He just needed company. "I didn't ask anything, but I knew his heart was heavy," Jimin told a colleague. This emotional closeness between Jimin and Jungkook is nothing new among ARMY. But in the military context, where emotions are often suppressed and solidarity is tested every day, their friendship feels stronger and more real. Many soldiers admit to admiring the way they both support each other, selflessly, without cameras. However, there was one moment that really caused a stir. During an intensive training session, a soldier was injured and unable to continue his duties. Without hesitation, Jungkook offered to take over some of his responsibilities. His commander was confused, but eventually allowed it. "I will do it, sir. This is not about me, it's about our team," Jungkook said at the time. This story immediately spread to the internal barracks and reached the ears of fans. The reaction was extraordinary. ARMY expressed deep pride because Jungkook showed the true identity of a responsible leader. Even in an environment very different from the entertainment world, Jimin did not remain silent. He also gave a small surprise to Jungkook. On one occasion, he slipped a small letter into Jungkook's locker. The contents were never revealed to the public, but according to a witness, when Jungkook read it, he just smiled and hugged the paper for a moment. A simple gesture that expresses a deep meaning. Through their clarification and attitude, Jungkook and Jimin managed to reverse public opinion. From initially questioning their integrity as celebrities in the military world, they have now become symbols of discipline and humility. There are no more accusations of special treatment. All that remains is praise for their dedication and spirit. Now, with the length of service they have to undergo, ARMY is not only looking forward to their appearance when they return to the entertainment world. They are also looking forward to other inspiring stories from these two figures, stories about resilience, brotherhood, and integrity in the midst of pressure. The question now is, after this firm attitude and emotional explanation, will there be another surprise from Jungkook and Jimin? Will this experience change them permanently? And can the public finally see idols not only as entertainers, but as individuals who are also able to set an example in a very different field? One thing is certain, Jungkook's serious statement is not just an answer to rumors. It is a symbol of change, maturation, and courage. And Jimin, as a loyal companion, has proven that true support does not always have to be in the form of words, but a consistent presence in times of greatest need. Jungkook suddenly speaks seriously? Jimin's explanation stuns fans. Continuation and critical reflection, however, behind the touching moments and surprising statements, a fundamental question arises that cannot be ignored. Did all of this really happen? Or, is this just a narrative deliberately formed to build an image and maintain popularity? In a digital age full of visual and narrative manipulation, we need to stop for a moment and ask, what are we actually believing? Most of the information about Jungkook and Jimin in the military does come from platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and other online media that do not always have high journalistic credibility. Reports that Jungkook is often accompanied by someone, or how Jimin made surprising statements about Jungkook's exemplary behavior, have not been confirmed by official parties either from BTS's agency, HYBE, or the South Korean military institution. So, what if we are just taking the bait of sensation designed to arouse the emotions of ARMY and the general public? If so, what is the motive behind it? Is this a new way to maintain the buzz about BTS while they are on hiatus from the entertainment world? Or more than that, are we witnessing a narrative game behind an industry that is very adept at playing on public sympathy? Of course, this does not mean we are accusing all the news about Jungkook and Jimin of being hoaxes. Many of us want to believe that they are indeed showing extraordinary dedication in carrying out their state duties. We want to believe that they remain humble individuals, even in the midst of physical and mental difficulties as soldiers. But at the same time, isn't it too naive if we swallow all these stories raw? Have you ever asked, who is the original source of this story? Are they really fellow soldiers of Jungkook and Jimin, or just anonymous accounts that want to go viral on TikTok? Why is there no official statement from the military or agency? And why do stories like this always appear dramatically, full of emotional details, but minimal evidence? It is important for all of us, especially ARMY and K-pop fans, not to fall victim to what is known as emotional engineering, a communication strategy deliberately built to lead opinions through emotions, not facts. When we read that Jungkook sat under the night sky with longing eyes, we have to ask, is this a factual report? Or just a narrative written to make us touched and feel close to him? Let's evaluate. If this story is true, then Jungkook and Jimin deserve recognition as public figures who remain humble in the spotlight. But if not, if this is all just media engineering to maintain BTS's appeal during their military service, then we must question the integrity of the information system we consume every day. And you, as a reader and fan, where is your position? Do you really believe this story is reality? Have you ever checked the truth before sharing it with fellow ARMY? Or do you realize that sometimes we choose to believe just because the story feels beautiful? As media consumers, we are responsible for not exacerbating the spread of unverified information, even if it's about our own idols. Love should not blind us from the facts. Let's discuss. Let's think deeper. Because healthy love is not blind love, but love that gives space for truth. Thank you.